Testimony of Yesiah, chapter 1-2. And it came to pass in the 26th year of his reign, that Hezekiah, king of Judah, summoned his son Manasseh. Now he was his only son. And he summoned him into the presence of the prophet Yesiah, the son of Amos, and into the presence of Yashub, the son of Yesiah. And while Hezekiah was giving commands, Yashub, the son of Yesiah, stood by. But when they were no longer in the presence of Manasseh, Yesiah spoke to Hezekiah the king alone.
As Yahweh lives, and as the Spirit which utters within me lives, all these commands and these words will have no effect on your son Manasseh. And through the agency of his hands, I will depart while my body is being tortured. For the adversary will dwell in the heart of your son Manasseh, and I will be sawn into two by him, from head to feet, with a wood-cutting saw. And he will cause many in Jerusalem and in Judah to abandon the living God, and to bow down to idols.
Now when Hezekiah heard these words, he was exceedingly grieved, and tore his robes, and threw dust upon his head, and fell on his face as though he was a corpse. And Yesiah said to him,
Nothing shall avail you from this day forth, for the adversary's counsel against your son Manasseh is complete.
But Hezekiah rationalized that he would kill his son Manasseh. And Yesiah said to Hezekiah,
The purpose of your heart shall not be accomplished, for with this calling have I been called.
Now after this, it came to pass that Hezekiah passed away, and Manasseh became the king. But he did not remember the instructions of his father. Instead, he forgot them. And he got rid of the service of God, and he was willing to follow golden and silver idols. And he served the adversary, and his messengers and his powers, and all of those who belonged to his father's house. He turned away from the service and adoration of God. And Manasseh served the slanderer and his messengers, the profane and unclean idols. And the slanderer rejoiced over Jerusalem because of Manasseh, and he enabled him in the insurrection and in the lawlessness which was sown abroad in Jerusalem. And the sorcery, and the magic, and the divination, and the augury, and the fornication, and the persecution of the righteous ones increased in the hands of Manasseh, and the hands of Tobiah the Canaanite, and the hands of Johanan of Anathoth, and in the hands of Zadok, the one who was over these operations. And behold, the rest of the accounts are written in the book of the kings of Judah and Israel. And when Yesiah, the son of Amos, saw the iniquity which was being committed in Jerusalem, and the bowing down to, and the worship of the adversary and his procession, he withdrew from Jerusalem and settled in Bethlehem of Judah. But there was also much lawlessness there. So he withdrew from Bethlehem and settled on the mountain in a desert region. And everyone there was clothed in sackcloth, and they were all prophets, nor did they have anything with them. Instead, they were destitute. And they all lamented bitterly because Israel had gone astray. And they had nothing to eat except wild herbs which they gathered on the mountains, and they cooked them. They lived there together with Yesiah the prophet, and they dwelt there for 2 years of days. Chapter 3 to 4. And Belkira discovered and saw the place of Yesiah and the prophets who were with him. For he dwelt in the country of Bethlehem, and adhered to Manasseh. And he was a false prophet in Jerusalem, and many Jerusalemites adhered to him. But he was also from Samaria. And it had come to pass, when Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, had come and captured Samaria and taken the 9 tribes into captivity, and led them away to the mountains of the Medes and the rivers of Gozan, this Belkira was still a youth, and he had escaped and come to Jerusalem in the days of Hezekiah, king of Judah. But he did not walk in the ways of his Samaritan father, because he hated Hezekiah. And in the time of Hezekiah, he was found uttering accounts of lawlessness in Jerusalem. And the boys of Hezekiah accused him, but he escaped to the country of Bethlehem. And Belkira discovered Yesiah and those who were with him. And he accused Yesiah, saying,
Yesiah and the prophets who are with him prophesy against Jerusalem and against the cities of Judah, that they will be laid waste, and also against Benjamin, that they will go into captivity, and also against you, O Lord the King, that you will go bound with hooks and iron chains. But they prophesy lies against Israel and Judah. And Yesiah himself has said, I see more than Moses. But Moses said, no man can see God and live. Therefore know, O king, that he is a liar. And he has also called Jerusalem Sodom, and the princes of Judah and Jerusalem he has declared to be the people of Gomorrah.
And in this way, he brought many accusations before Manasseh against the prophets. And Belial dwelt in the heart of Manasseh, and in the heart of the chiefs of Judah and Benjamin, and in the eunuchs, and in the counselors of the king, so that the accounts of Belkira pleased him. And he sent and seized Yesiah. And he sawed him in half with a wood-cutting saw. And while Yesiah was being sawn in two, his accuser Belkira stood by, and all the false prophets stood by, laughing and rejoicing because of Yesiah. And Belkira stood up before Yesiah, deriding him. And Belkira said to Yesiah,
Say, I have lied in all that I have spoken. And likewise, the ways of Manasseh are good and right. And also, the ways of Belkira and of his associates are good.
And he said this to him, when he began to be sawn in two. And Balkira spoke the following to Yesiah.
Say what I tell you, and I will turn their heart, and I will compel Manasseh and the princes of Judah, and the people and all Jerusalem to worship you.
And Yesiah answered and said,
If it is within my power, damned and cursed be you, and all your powers, and all your house. For you cannot take anything from me, save the skin of my body.
And they seized Yesiah, the son of Amos, and sawed him in half with a wood-cutting saw. And Manasseh and Balkira, and the false prophets, and the chiefs, and the people, and all stood looking on. And before he had been sawn in half, he said to the prophets who were with him,
All of you, go into the region of Tyre and Sidon, for God has mixed this cup for me alone.
And when Yesiah was being sawn in half, he neither cried aloud nor wept, but his lips spoke with the Holy Spirit until he was sawn in two.